Last year, Thomas Anderson, a retired executive from Boston, lost $175,000 to what he called the most charming investment advisor I ever met. The man had praised Thomas's business acumen, called him one of the smartest clients he had ever worked with, and promised exclusive investment opportunities reserved for sophisticated investors like him. 6 months later, Thomas discovered the advisor had disappeared with money from dozens of seniors across Massachusetts. Have you ever wondered why some of the most devastating financial scams begin with excessive praise and flattery? How can you distinguish between genuine professional respect and the calculated flattery designed to lower your financial defenses? Today, we're exploring a timeless principle that Renaissance political philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli understood over 500 years ago. A principle that remains shockingly relevant in our modern financial landscape. His observations about flatterers at royal courts translate perfectly to today's world of financial advisors, investment gurus, and self-proclaimed experts targeting seniors. Machiavelli warned that flattery is the favored tool of those seeking to exploit others. In his words, men are so easily flattered and so easily deceived that he who wishes to deceive will always find someone willing to be deceived. This insight is particularly valuable for seniors navigating today's complex financial environment, where scammers have refined flattery into a precise science. Consider how financial predators operate. They praise your wisdom while subtly undermining your confidence. They compliment your past successes while suggesting you need their special insight. They create artificial urgency while making you feel specially selected. These are modern versions of the court flatterer, using praise not to honor you, but to separate you from your assets. The first principle in protecting yourself is developing healthy skepticism about financial trends and opportunities, especially those presented with excessive praise. This doesn't mean becoming cynical or distrustful of everyone. Rather, it means recognizing that legitimate financial professionals don't need to butter you up with extraordinary compliments or make you feel exceptionally special to provide valuable service. Margaret Baker from Phoenix learned this lesson after nearly falling victim to a celebrity-endorsed investment scheme. The advisor kept telling me how financially savvy I was compared to other retirees. Looking back, that should have been my first warning sign. My current financial advisor discusses my finances directly, without the excessive compliments. The second core principle is financial autonomy as the foundation of security. Machiavellian wisdom teaches us that maintaining independent judgment is critical. When someone praises your intelligence, while simultaneously pushing you to make quick decisions without consulting others, they're following the flatterer's playbook, using compliments to isolate you from protective influences. Barbara Nelson, a retired teacher from Seattle, credits her financial safety to a simple rule. No matter how good an opportunity sounds, or how much they praise my financial knowledge, I always take 48 hours to decide on any investment over $1,000. Most legitimate opportunities remain available after reflection, while scams often disappear when you don't act immediately. The strategic approach to protecting yourself requires balancing politeness with firm boundaries. You can respectfully listen to financial pitches without committing. You can acknowledge compliments without being swayed by them. And most importantly, you can maintain decision-making autonomy by establishing personal rules about timing, consultation, and verification. Remember that in the realm of financial security, appearance management works both ways. Scammers manage their appearance to seem trustworthy and exclusive, but you can manage your own appearance as someone who is appreciative yet methodical and not easily rushed. In our next section, we'll explore practical protection strategies against modern flatterers, including specific questions that make manipulators uncomfortable, red flag phrases that signal potential scams, and documentation techniques that protect your financial decisions. As we've established, the art of flattery has evolved from Renaissance courts to modern financial predators targeting seniors. Now let us explore practical protection strategies you can implement immediately to shield yourself from these sophisticated manipulators while maintaining control of your financial future. The first practical defense is developing what I call flattery awareness. Train yourself to notice when someone uses excessive praise, especially in financial contexts. Legitimate financial professionals certainly appreciate their clients, but their communications focus primarily on clear information, realistic expectations, and transparent processes, not on making you feel exceptionally special or uniquely intelligent. When someone approaches you with a financial opportunity, create mental distance by asking yourself, would this person be equally interested in me if I had half my current assets? This question helps separate genuine professional relationships from exploitative ones. Richard Taylor, a retired engineer from Denver, credits this simple question with saving him from a potential scam. When I mentally reduced my net worth and imagined how the advisor would treat me, I realized his extraordinary interest was in my money, not my financial well-being. Fursi, the second protective strategy involves developing a personal flatterer test, a series of questions that make manipulators uncomfortable while giving honest advisors an opportunity to demonstrate their integrity. These questions include: what specific risks might cause this investment to perform poorly? Who might advise me not to make this investment, and what would their reasoning be? Thus, if your own parent had exactly my financial situation, would you recommend the same approach? What fees or commissions will you personally earn if I proceed with this recommendation? Honest professionals welcome these questions and provide thoughtful, specific answers. Manipulators typically respond with vague reassurances, more flattery, or subtle pressure to decide quickly before fully exploring every detail. They document every financial interaction as your third line of defense. This means taking notes during conversations, requesting written explanations of recommendations, and creating a paper trail. This documentation serves two crucial purposes. It slows down the decision-making process, giving you time to reflect, and it creates accountability for the advisor's claims and promises. Elizabeth Kim from Nashville implemented this strategy after her neighbor fell victim to a sophisticated investment scam. I now carry a small notebook specifically for financial conversations. When I start taking notes, I can immediately tell the difference between professionals who appreciate thoroughness and those who seem uncomfortable with documentation. Your fourth protection strategy involves creating a personal financial decision protocol, a consistent process you follow before making any significant financial move. This protocol might include waiting 48 hours before deciding on any investment over $2,000, consulting with a trusted family member or independent advisor, researching the company and individual offering the opportunity, and verifying credentials through official channels rather than just accepting provided documentation. This systematic approach protects you from the emotional manipulation that flattery creates. By committing to following your protocol regardless of how special an opportunity seems or how much an advisor praises your financial acumen, you create a buffer between manipulation attempts and your actual decisions. Finally, understand that strategic skepticism about financial flattery doesn't mean isolating yourself from good financial opportunities. Rather, it means developing a balanced approach that Robert Johnson, a retired professor from Raleigh, describes as polite caution. As he explains, I remain cordial and respectful in all financial discussions, but I separate the person's pleasantness from the merit of their recommendations. The nicest, most complimentary advisor might offer terrible financial advice, while sometimes the most straightforward, even slightly critical advisor offers the most valuable guidance. These practical strategies create a powerful protection system against financial flatterers while maintaining your ability to build beneficial professional relationships with legitimate financial experts. The key is consistency, applying these approaches to every financial interaction, whether with new contacts or advisors you've been known for years. In our next section, we'll explore how to manage ongoing financial relationships to maintain control without creating unnecessary conflict, including communication techniques that preserve your autonomy while building productive partnerships with genuine financial professionals. Building on our strategies for identifying and defending against financial flattery, let us now focus on managing ongoing financial relationships in a way that maintains your control and autonomy while creating productive partnerships with genuine professionals. The balance between respect and affability in financial relationships forms the foundation of effective management. Many seniors struggle with this balance, either becoming too trusting and deferential or too guarded and suspicious. The strategic approach lies in the middle path, maintaining cordial, respectful relationships while never surrendering your decision-making authority. Susan Williams, a retired accountant from Austin, describes her approach. "I view my financial advisor as a consultant, not an authority figure. I am friendly and appreciate their expertise, but I make it clear that final decisions remain mine." This mindset shifted the entire dynamic of our relationship. One powerful technique for maintaining control is what strategic thinkers call intelligent transparency. This involves being open about your financial goals and concerns, while carefully protecting sensitive details until trust is fully established. This selective transparency allows you to receive tailored advice without becoming vulnerable to exploitation. When working with financial professionals, clearly establish decision-making protocols from the beginning. For example, you might explain, "I appreciate recommendations, but I need complete information, time to consider options, and occasionally a second opinion before making decisions over a certain dollar amount." Setting these expectations early prevents misunderstandings and creates boundaries that protect you without creating unnecessary tension. The classic strategic principle of trust but verify applies perfectly to financial relationships. This means maintaining a practice of regularly verifying account statements, transaction histories, and performance reports, even with long-established advisors. William Chen from Tampa implemented this approach after reading about a respected advisor who had managed to conceal improper activities for years. "I now verify everything quarterly, not because I distrust my advisor, but because it is simply good financial hygiene." Another crucial aspect of managing financial relationships involves strategic adaptability in financial agreements. This means maintaining flexibility to adjust or exit arrangements when circumstances change. Review all financial relationships annually, asking, "Does this relationship still serve my current goals? Has the value proposition changed? Are there alternatives I should consider?" This regular assessment prevents the inertia that keeps many seniors in suboptimal financial arrangements. When interacting with financial professionals, practice what negotiation experts call friendly assertion, maintaining a pleasant demeanor while clearly advocating for your interests. This might involve questioning fees, requesting alternative options, or declining recommendations that don't align with your goals, all while maintaining a respectful tone. Remember that true professionals respect clients who take an active role in their financial management. Linda Jackson, a retired business owner from Cleveland, shares, "I was raised to be polite and not question professionals. Changing this mindset was difficult, but I've learned to ask direct questions with a smile. Most legitimate advisors actually appreciate my engagement and respond positively to my inquiries." Developing a relationship exit strategy before problems arise represents another powerful management technique. Know in advance what warning signs would prompt you to end a financial relationship, what steps would be involved, and what alternatives are available. This preparation makes you less vulnerable to pressure tactics when concerns arise and helps you act decisively if needed. For family financial relationships, which often involve complex emotional dynamics, establish clear boundaries between affection and financial decisions. Joseph Rodriguez from Minneapolis maintains separate conversations for family matters and financial matters involving family members. "When discussing a loan to my nephew, I scheduled a specific meeting just for that purpose, rather than discussing it during a family gathering where emotional considerations might overshadow financial ones." Throughout all financial relationships, remember that perception management works both ways. While being aware of how others present themselves to you, also be strategic about how you present yourself. Projecting quiet confidence, demonstrating financial literacy, and showing appropriate caution all contribute to being perceived as someone not easily manipulated, making you less likely to be targeted by those with exploitative intentions. In our final section, we'll integrate these strategies into a comprehensive system for navigating today S complex financial landscape, with specific emphasis on adapting these timeless principles to emerging technologies and evolving scam techniques. We'd have explored how to identify financial flattery, implement practical protection strategies, and manage ongoing financial relationships. Now let S integrate these elements into a comprehensive system that adapts classical strategic wisdom to today's rapidly evolving financial landscape. This integrated approach begins with what I call the strategic awareness cycle, a continuous process of education, evaluation, and adaptation. Unlike static financial plans that quickly become outdated, this system remains effective against evolving tactics because it prioritizes your awareness and adaptability over specific defensive techniques. The first component involves staying informed about emerging financial trends and scam techniques without becoming overwhelmed. Dedicate 15 to 30 minutes weekly to reviewing trusted resources on financial security. Carol Martinez, a retired healthcare administrator from St. Louis, created what she calls her Sunday Financial Awareness Ritual, where she briefly reviews updates from the FBI's Elder Fraud website, AARP's Fraud Resource Center, and her state's Securities Division. Next, integrate the flattery awareness, testing questions, documentation habits, and relationship management techniques we've discussed into a cohesive decision-making framework. This doesn't require complex flowcharts or excessive formality. Instead, create a simple checklist of questions and steps that becomes your standard operating procedure for financial interactions. For David Martinez from San Diego, this checklist fits on a single note card in his wallet. Did they use excessive praise? Have I verified their credentials? Am I feeling rushed? Have I documented their claims? Have I consulted my independent advisor? Have I waited my standard 48 hours? These straightforward questions create a powerful filter against manipulation. The third component involves adapting these timeless principles to new technologies. Today, financial flatterers operate through sophisticated online platforms, social media, and even artificial intelligence. The fundamental psychological manipulation remains unchanged, but the delivery mechanisms have evolved dramatically. When navigating digital financial environments, implement what security experts call digital compartmentalization, creating separate email accounts for financial matters, using dedicated devices for sensitive transactions when possible, and maintaining strict privacy settings on social media. This compartmentalization makes it harder for digital flatterers to create comprehensive profiles that enable highly targeted manipulation. Jennifer Lewis, a retired technology professional from Detroit, advises, "I never discuss financial matters on social media, even in seemingly private groups. I've seen sophisticated scammers monitor these conversations to identify vulnerable targets and craft personalized approaches based on shared information." The fourth element of your integrated system involves creating a trusted council, a small group of independent advisors who can provide perspective when needed. This might include a fee-only financial advisor, an elder law attorney, a trusted family member with financial expertise, and perhaps a friend with good judgment. The key is diversity of perspective and independence from one another, ensuring no single influence dominates your decisions. As you implement this system, remember that the strategic balance between skepticism and openness remains crucial. The goal isn't to view every financial interaction with suspicion, but to develop refined judgment that quickly distinguishes between genuine professionals and skilled manipulators. Ruth Hernandez from Minneapolis put it perfectly. "I've learned that true financial wisdom isn't about knowing all the answers myself or blindly trusting others to have them. It's about knowing which questions to ask, creating space to consider options carefully, and maintaining my authority to make final decisions." This approach represents the essence of strategic financial management, maintaining control without isolation, exercising caution without paranoia, and building relationships without surrendering autonomy. These principles have protected the wealthy and powerful throughout history, and they remain equally effective for seniors navigating today's complex financial landscape. The Renaissance strategists understood that personal security requires both wisdom and courage. The wisdom to recognize manipulation and the courage to stand firm against it, even when it comes wrapped in flattery and false promises. By implementing these principles, you honor their legacy while protecting your financial future. If you have found value in these insights, please support our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing for more strategic wisdom adapted for today's world. Share these principles with friends and family who might benefit from this protection against financial flattery and manipulation. Together, we can build a community of strategically minded seniors who maintain control of their financial destiny despite the ever-evolving tactics of those who would exploit them. Remember, in the realm of personal finance, maintaining your power begins with recognizing when others use flattery to diminish it. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and most importantly, stay in control.